Hey guys, it's me again. Today this is just a quick video and update on the character, but also a video with some tips on how to build defenses, right? So this is how I actually do it. I start with the simple question, what are my weaknesses with this build, right? And I haven't fixed all these problems with this build, but I'm working on it, right? So the first weakness is this. Look at my life, right? So we need regen. And actually, you can see that my mana is not actually perfect as well. So this is kind of defensive as well, because if I run out of mana during a fight, I will probably die. Okay, so we have identified two weaknesses. What are the third one? So I didn't have any armor. I just kind of worked on that, because as you can see, I have a lot of spell block, even more when I use roomies. But I didn't have any mitigation at all. So this was hurting me a lot. And you can see, oh, okay, why don't you just go Ghost Dance and, use Grace? First, because this would give me a lot of dodge, but I would still be getting hit a lot, right? And also, when you go for evasion gear, you kind of saying that you want spell suppression as well, because that comes with most evasion gear. So like at city boots, for instance. And I didn't think that evasion was the way to go. Actually, I tried to go for armor, and there's some reasons behind it. First, because this is a good node on the way, gives us some damage and some life. And we are using this Crown of the Inward, and gives us a lot of base armor. And okay, I bugged. Let's try again. And I actually get Transfiguration of Soul, Body, and Mind. And this is very good because this is kind of a hybrid build. So getting those Transfiguration also helps us quite a bit. And this is actually a very decent node for getting a little bit of regen. And I'm using Determination because, you see, we kind of want to get hit a lot because of our block. And then we can get recovery, and as you can see, we don't have recovery here as well. But the other thing that made me go for armor is because of this node, and we can get recovered 2% of life and energy shield. So what I want to do is get a Cane of Kalamek with a lot of chaos damage, and then go for glancing blows with recovery. And I think this is a very good way to get a lot of damage, but also keeps us on a very good level of damage, right? And then I could respect this, to go for that. So that's why I went armor. So we had physical mitigation and we have regen, right? This is where the two main problems of the build, right? So I got this as well, 13% of physical damage from hits taken as fire damage. And this helps a lot. Sadly, we cannot get this on helmet because you're using a unique, but you get the deal. And also, I'm using this. We used increased effects on armor on a granite flask, because as you can see, when I use Origami and granite, I get 16,000 armor, and this keeps us very, very healthy against some monsters, right? The other thing is now I'm using self-casting Enduring Cry. And this is much better because I was anointing this on my last video. Where is it? I think it's this. Yeah, I was anointing this, and this is not a very good node. It's just something to fill the holes of the build. And now I'm anointing even a worst one, because I haven't decided what I'm gonna do. So this is why I'm anointing Path of the 7th. And as you can see, I got a pretty decent amulet here that I craft myself. It's pretty decent because it gives us 33% chaos rest, and then we can get this damage here, +1 chaos damage over time multiplier per 4 points of chaos rest. This starts to be an option again, because our chaos rest is kind of high, right? So now to fix regen, I actually didn't fix it, as I said, but what I'm thinking on doing is, for now, I have some life regen here and some life regen here to help us a little bit. I'm not using vitality anymore because our mana doesn't fit. So what I'm thinking of doing is anointing Acrimony, respecting this, and the less damage taken from damage over time, which is also in a defensive layer. And actually, after I do that, so I anoint and use my extra points to get this jewel socket, this mean endurance, and this is actually helps. But we're actually going to run this because then we have more mana. We can even maybe get a low level of vitality again, but we'll probably will fix our mana issues with clarity, and will actually help us with our damage, because increased effect actually gives us damage. So this is how I thought about the build. When you're playing your own build, you have to think, what are the build weaknesses? So maybe a low life pool, weakness against degen, or no mitigation. And what I actually want to talk is that I usually work for 3 or 4 layers of defenses. So this I have one, it's temp chains. But temp chains is not very good on bosses, right? Because the curse effectiveness on bosses is kind of low. So I need another one. I got Fist Taken as Ellie, which is actually pretty huge, and you can even get this on helmet as well, right? So this is kind of another one. I also have block with another one, another layer of defenses. And I want to get regen, so I can fix that, but I also have recovery. Recovery, life on kill. So when I kill packs, I actually won't die, but when I'm not killing packs, like fighting a boss, I will take some hits. So you have to think about defenses while mapping and defenses while bossing, because those are 2 different things. So the main idea is to get the defense, but also keep your damage up. And that's why I'm going for armor, because I get this staff mastery. So you have to think about those little things. You could get something like this, but I don't think any of this is worth for the builds. Also, I don't think this is worth for the build. And you also have your Pantheons. So Litanius is the best thing you want here, because it cannot be frozen, but cannot be stunned is actually very, very important, because stun fucks this build over. So what you actually want is Uber enchantment on your boots with avoidance to stun, so you won't get stunned while mapping. And while you're bossing, you can deal with it because of the Pantheon, right? And then you can use or Grutku or Aberath. Those 2 are good because you actually are not Ignite immunity, so you switch between those 2. And actually I need Poporo as well, because reduced effect of 2 is very good. So as you can see, there's a lot of ways you can work on your defense, and my flasks are very important. So this has 100% increased duration, so it's 13 seconds. This is huge for mapping. I proc this, and look at this. Look at this. It's just a lot of time. So how you roll your flasks are also very important, right? And I have my immunity to corrupted blood here, but in the perfect words, I will get a corrupted gem. So here I have a little bit of regen, life, and resistance. So I also would want corrupted blood immunity, so I can switch this flask. As I said, we have this, and this is just remove burning, because we're not actually immune to ignite, right? So this is it about the build. I'm using some 2 Iolites, but this is not very good. You can also get Mean Endurance here, so you don't have to use this, but actually probably would go for Mean Frenzy. This, I still have to craft a better one. There's still a lot of things to change, but as you can see, there's a lot of ways for you to improve on your defense. And this is all I wanted to say. The video is kind of long already. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon.